Hello, friend. Dr. Brooke here with another episode of Your Body Speaks. So excited to have you along on the journey. We've had a great first series of episodes, really talking about the intelligence within your body, how smart it is, cutting through the noise in the health and wellness industry, how to make sense of all of the stuff coming at you. We talked about the subtle signals your body gives to really share with you that things are going on, the whispers that it alludes to before it starts to scream. We talked about stress and its impact on your body and the detrimental impacts it can have and those things that it causes. We unraveled some of the mysteries of the body, what certain things mean as they're occurring. And we also talked about what supplementing willy-nilly can do and how detrimental that can be to your health. And as we move into a brand new series of episodes, I'm really excited to be bringing you all the amazing inging that your body does on a constant 24/7 basis. And what do I mean by inging? We are human beings, ing. We are constantly having things go. Things are constantly happening within our bodies. Our bodies are constantly clearing, they're constantly cleansing. Our bodies are constantly detoxing and digesting and purging and contracting and connecting and doing all the beautiful things that it needs to do to keep us alive and thriving while our soul still exists within this body. And so, with that being said, I'm really excited to bring you all of these beautiful things that are happening to showcase the intelligence of your body in an effort to show you its awe-inspiring, magnificent, masterful creation and this beautiful gift that you've been given. So in this episode, we're going to be highlighting two specific ingings for this episode, but each episode is going to be building on top of each other. So be sure to make sure you're catching every single one as we build out this beautiful framework to really showcase and show you how amazing your body is. So we're going to be exploring first two things is the incredible roles of your lymphatic system to clear things out and your detox pathways to cleanse things out. So this built-in system, as I mentioned earlier, everything is happening 24/7. This built-in system is working 24/7 to keep you feeling light, energized, and free of toxins. So we're going to be learning about some practical, simple ways to help your body cleanse, clean itself out, and clear things out effectively. So we're going to be learning simple, practical ways to help your body cleanse and clear itself effectively without harsh cleanses and over-the-counter detox kits, because you know me, those can be detrimental. Let's get into the first thing. What is your lymphatic system? A lot of you may have heard that term or talked about lymphatics or heard somebody talking about it, and that's great, but what is it? In the simplest terms, your lymphatic system is a network of vessels and lymph nodes that help remove waste, toxins, and pathogens from your body. So this lymph network is really working to cleanse your body, get all the toxic material out of you. We actually have more lymph tissue, more lymph vessels and nodes than we actually have blood vessels. And it works really, really, really closely with your immune system to keep you healthy. So if we look at it this way, the lymph system is your body's waste highway. So what does that mean when I say that? So let's think about the analogy of the waste man in your community. Those trash trucks come out on the day that they pick up your garbage, and then they put it in their truck, and then they leave and they go to a processing center, and that processing center takes that garbage and puts it where it needs to go. So your body does very, very similar things. So it's moving waste up from both your feet all the way up through your inguinal ligaments, which sit down right into your pelvis, and those pelvis lymph nodes move everything up into an area called the thoracic duct. Now, the thoracic duct sits right behind your breastbone, and it's like the big collection processing center. So from the thoracic duct, it moves everything into that subclavian vein up here. So you have a subclavian vein on either side, and that subclavian vein, it sits right underneath your clavicle, and once that lymph tissue or that waste product enters the subclavian vein, it's now mixed in with the circulatory system, the blood. So that deoxygenated blood then goes from the heart to the lungs, then back to the heart, and then back through the body to be sent to the detox organs, the liver, and the kidneys, and then to be ultimately excreted out of the body. So it's really, really fascinating how the body has been so designed so beautifully, so intricately to move things in an upward motion only to be then pushed downward. So I remember in grad school wondering why the inguinal lymph nodes didn't just drain right into the bowels or didn't just drain right into the kidneys to get it out. Like, why did everything have to come up and then be cleansed and pumped through the heart and the lungs and then be moved downward? But the beautiful design is that it moves all of the waste to where it needs to go to that processing plant so that the body can actually deal with it first in this region, in this heart lung region, so that it's not coming as majorly wasteful products in the liver and the kidneys, causing toxicity in the liver and causing toxicity in the kidneys. It's beautifully designed that way. And so one of the analogies I think about in this area is a roller coaster, right? The roller coaster, as you're going up and it's just clink, 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 clink going up that hill, and you're ready for, the acceleration and the drop in your stomach, and you're excited about what's happening. But the body works hard against gravity to push that tissue or to push that waste product up. And then it will turn around and then use it to make the down movement smooth and effective. So it's super complex, but it's amazing. It's amazing how this all happens. So what are signs of sluggish lymph flow? When we experience any puffy or swollen limbs, maybe a lot of times we'll see people will notice it, especially around their ankles. They feel puffiness around their ankles. And that's a sign that lymphatic flow is not happening efficiently down in those areas. Those areas are harder to move lymph tissue through, just because they are at the very bottom and they're pushing further up against gravity versus like maybe our arms, right, aren't having to push up against gravity as much as our feet would be, or our ankles. So puffy swollen limbs, this actually happens more so in the morning. You'll notice these kind of symptoms. If you have persistent fatigue or some brain fog, there's a lot of things that can cause brain fog and persistent fatigue, but looking into the lymphatic system, making sure you're really clearing things out. And we're going to go into some ways on how to do that in just a moment. If you're having reoccurring colds and infections, it's like you're not getting well. You may have that sluggish lymphatic flow going on, and skin issues. So like a dull complexion, acne, things like that, all signs of sluggish, like really slow moving lymphatic flow. Our posture can cause a sluggish lymph flow. If we have our shoulders rolled forward and our shoulders pulled up by our ears because we're so stressed out, that can cause a lot of issues and blockage, especially since I said the drainage is happening in this subclavian vein right here, right underneath your clavicle bone, your collarbone, I should say. Clavicle is the medical term for this bone, but your collarbone, right underneath your collarbone. This is where the lymph tissue is getting put in the circulation system. So if we have tight shoulders and neck, we're really putting some pressure on this lymph tissue. And our posture can play an important part of that. So really monitoring where your shoulders are at any given time is really good to think about. Maybe like get set in a better posture, and then do some diaphragmatic breathing. So taking some deep breaths. So you're really just opening up that space for better circulation and lymphatic flow, and just incorporating stretches that really target your chest and your upper back. Another one that I really love is working on the pec minor muscle and activating the neurolymphatic point for that. So for those of you watching the video, that point starts right at the center of the breastbone, right at the lower end of the breastbone, right in the center. And if you just activate that, You can activate it anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds at a time. That can really help strengthen that pec minor muscle here, which can block lymphatic flow if that gets weak. So that kind of helps get some of the lymphatic moving. I will attach a tutorial video for that in the show notes or in the description of this video for you to be able to check out. So that really helps your lymphatic system a lot by remaining open and getting that proper flow going. So, how do stress and toxins play a role with this? Well, in episode 4, when we talked about stress and its implications on health and what it causes to every system of the body and how it affects every system of the body, chronic stress leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to impaired lymphatic flow. So we've got dominoes falling. I always say elevated levels of cortisol are kind of like lighter fluid in the body. It's not necessarily the thing that sets everything off, but it is the thing that like makes everything worse. So inflammation, lymphatic flow, all these things happening. The other thing is if we're constantly exposed to environmental toxins, pollutions, pesticides, toxic sprays, toxic chemicals, all of those increase the burden to our lymphatic system. And it really makes our lymphatic system harder to function. And it doesn't allow these proper cleansing mechanisms to happen. So, how can we properly support our lymphatics? And how can we do this in a way where we're not spending hours and hours and hours trying to keep our lymphatic system healthy, but we're doing things that our body loves? It's kind of like petting a puppy on its belly and how it just rolls over and it's, I love this so much. It's doing things that your body loves that are so supportive of your body, but doesn't also require you just to live an entire life of doing all these crazy wild things. Because that's not my thing. One of the things, a challenge for you as my listener, is to try a 5-minute lymphatic flow practice. Now, this practice can include light, dry brushing towards your heart. So getting a dry brush and just brushing your lymphatic tissue towards the heart. So moving down this way, moving up on anything basically below your neck. You're going to move in an upward motion when you're dry brushing. Anything at your like behind your ears and down, you're moving in a downward motion. You're going to follow gentle movements like neck rolls, shoulder shrugs. Those kind of things can help. And end that 5-minute practice with deep belly breaths to really enhance that flow. So that diaphragmatic breathing, getting a deep breath in and releasing it, really allowing that flow to happen. So 5 minutes a day can really help get your lymphatics going. Other things to incorporate, of course, is walking and drinking water, which will help throughout the day. That's something to consistently do throughout the day, is getting that movement in and that fluid into your system after you do that 5-minute lymphatic flow practice before you start your day. Awesome. Let's get into the clearing. So we talked cleansing. Now we're clearing. We are clearing through our detox pathways. Our detox pathways, oftentimes people think just the liver, but really there are so many other areas of the body that are responsible for detox. We're going to get into that in just a second. But our detox pathways, what are they? They are our body's natural system for removing waste and toxins to maintain balance and health. We do not, if the lymphatic system is working so diligently to remove toxins and waste from our bodies, why are we not supporting the organs that then do the rest of the work to get that fully excreted through the body? Or why are we only putting focus on the organs that are excreting and not on the lymphatic system that is doing a lot of the work to collect the trash, right? We have to have them both go hand in hand. All of these things that we're going to be inging about this year so that we can thrive are all going to be working in conjunction and hand in hand with one another, not as separate units. Nothing works separate in the body. Let's deep dive into some of these detox organs. Well, first one everybody thinks of, liver. Yes, liver. It's true. It filters toxins from the blood and processes them for elimination. Now, not to get stuck into the weeds, but liver has two phases of detoxification, phase 1 detox, phase 2 detox. Think of phase 1 as if you have a bunch of leaves in your backyard and you rake the leaves in your backyard, you rake them all into a pile. That's phase 1 detox. Going into phase 2 detox is then putting all of those leaves in a garbage bag, raking them all up in a garbage bag to then be completely put out on the curb so the waste company can take them out, right? So phase 1, collecting all the leaves. Phase 2 is putting the leaves on the bag to then be transported to the rest of the organs where it needs to be eliminated from. The liver converts harmful substances into water-soluble compounds to be excreted in urine or bile. Bile makes it come through the bowels, urine obviously through the kidneys. I mentioned phase 1 and phase 2, and I'm talking about how it converts harmful substances into water-soluble substances. So during those phase 1, phase 2, that's when it's becoming those water-soluble compounds. Into phase 2, a fully completed phase 2 detoxification, those toxic compounds that the liver was working through in phase 1 are now water soluble. Okay, next organ, kidneys. Kidneys now filter this excess waste, water and salts from the blood to create urine. It maintains your electrolyte balance and regulates blood pressure. So yes, kidneys are a big detox organ. Yes, they're excreting a lot of things out of the body, but they're also responsible for keeping that electrolyte balance, keeping your body in motion, keeping the sodium levels, the potassium levels, the magnesium levels, the chloride levels, all these things into balance so that you have proper detox flow, you have proper blood pressure, and so forth. So it is taking this waste and it's taking this water and it's taking these salts and it's pushing it through. And then you have to go pee and you're like, oh, can you hold my place in line? I got to run to the bathroom. That's your kidneys moving everything into that bladder once it's done. Next organ, your skin. This is our body's largest organ. We have it everywhere. It covers all of us, but it acts as a secondary detox organ by releasing toxins through sweat. So it comes out through those pores and we release toxins through sweat. It's one of the reasons why sauna gets a lot of the quote unquote accolades that it does is because people talk about, oh, you're sweating, you need to sweat toxins out of your skin. Yes, you do need to sweat toxins out of your skin. Does not mean you need to go into a sauna every single day and do all that kind of stuff. You can sweat toxins out of your skin by going for brisk walks and doing what you need to do and getting that proper movement and flow happening in your body. It does not need to be done in an isolated sauna, although I'm not anti-sauna. It's just that everything may seem good in theory, but may not be entirely right for you. So just as I mentioned before, tuning into your body and the subtle signals it gives is so vitally important because this is how you can cut through that noise and figure out what's right for you. So if you ask your body the question, do you want sauna? Okay, well, do I want infrared sauna or do I want a water sauna? What and how long, right? So these are just some of the questions. And if the answer is no, there's so many other ways of working through and getting sweat and detoxing that way instead of just using one isolated thing. There are many, many ways to doing one thing. So skin health is a reflection of our internal detox efficiency. So when people are actually dealing with a lot of acne or skin conditions and so forth, that really is an indication of what's happening internally, a lot of it with liver function and the rest of the detox organs. Because if things are not properly moving through the body, this like in a downward motion to be excreted through the bowels and the bladder, then it's going to push itself out through the face. It's going to push itself out through the skin. It's going to do different things and you're going to be frustrated and you're going to go on hormones because you think that that's going to help get the acne to go away. But really, we just need to look internally. The other organ that does detox is your gut. It eliminates solid waste and unwanted bacteria through the bowel movement. We gotta have proper bowel movements every single day. It is healthy to have at least one bowel movement a day. There are moments in time where we may have constipation from traveling, from being out of our normal environment, and that is a-okay. But generally speaking, you do not want to go long bouts of time with no bowel movement. It is not a badge of honor to say that. You actually want to be excreting things through your body and getting them out of there and have healthy flow. And your healthy microbiome supports these effects of detoxification as well. So as the liver is converting things and putting it into the bile to be moved through the bowels, that's part of your microbiome comes in and helps support these processes. So, what are some of the dangers of overloading these organs? Dangers of overloading the detox pathways happen from consuming excess alcohol, having too much sugar in your diet. Processed foods can overwhelm all of these systems. Your liver alone, and I don't mean to just highlight the liver, but your liver is doing 500 different processes a day. It is not just a detox organ. It is an organ that's storing sugar. It is an organ that's releasing sugar if your blood sugar gets low. It is dealing with your hormones. It is working so hard to keep everything going and functioning. And if you are consuming alcohol, the liver essentially sets everything else aside to metabolize the alcohol metabolites that came through, the ethanol that came through, because it is so toxic to the system that it then has to put everything to the side, detox all of that alcohol through, and then go back to resuming its normal work day, its normal things that it needs to do. So if we're consuming too much alcohol, we're putting pressure on that liver so it can no longer function as efficiently as it needs to. And then we end up with fatty liver and so forth. And that's things that we do not want, that overwhelms these systems heavily. The other thing that does this is environmental toxins. So our cleaning chemicals, what we use in our environment, in our sprays, in our bathrooms, in our kitchens, in those kind of things. What we put on our skin matters. What touches your skin will enter your bloodstream within 26 seconds. So if you're using a cheap skincare product or you're using a toxic skincare product, you are putting pressure on your detox organs to really move things through, because now it's having to deal with that as well. When you have an overloaded detox path, can cause fatigue, headaches, digestive issues, skin problems, the whole gamut. So we need to really reconsider if it's in our best interest to drink alcohol. I'm not passing any judgment. I'm just really sharing with you what it can look like when you're honoring your body and doing things that are very supportive of your body. And one of those ways to support your body, not only pulling alcohol and excess sugar and processed foods and chemicals and things out of the equation, but one of the biggest things you can do to support your detox pathways is to sleep, to go nighty-nighty, to really give yourself proper rest and sleep hygiene. I do want to do an entire episode on sleep here soon. Maybe it'll be a bonus episode because sleep is that important. And during deep sleep is when our brain's lymphatic system, so we have lymphatic tissue, I mentioned earlier, from basically the back of the neck, right behind your ears, all the way down the rest of the body. But the brain has its own detox system, which is called the lymphatic system, its own cleansing system. And when you get deep sleep at night, you are allowing that lymphatic system to be active, to be flushing toxins out of the brain while you're sleeping, so that you wake up refreshed. You wake up without brain fog. You wake up with all the things that you need to function for the next day with a clear mind. If we don't have a proper activating lymphatic system because we are going with chronic sleep issues or we're not doing what we need to do, these things can lead to issues like Alzheimer's, dementia, like early onset memory loss, all of these things that happen, and we don't want that. And this lack of sleep can also impair your liver function. Hello, we need all of these things to be working together. So some of the common myths about detoxing that I've heard from patients and non-patients alike is that we need fancy cleanses to detox. And especially during this time of year, whatever time of year it is you're listening to this, people will tell you, you just need a good detox cleanse. You just need to flush your liver. You just need to do X amount of eating plan to do this. And fancy detox cleanses, no way. Your body naturally detoxes, is constantly detoxing, whether it's August 31st or July 2nd or April 15th. It is constantly detoxing no matter what. And it will naturally detox when you support it with hydration, nutrition, and rest. Another myth is sweating alone is enough to detox. So just sitting in your sauna, doing your 1 hour in there, dripping wet, coming out of there looking like a wet doggy is enough to detox. And that is not true. Like sweating helps detox. Yes, it helps move things through, but it does not replace the function of the liver. It does not replace the function of the kidneys. It does not replace the function of the intestines or the lymphatic system and so forth. Another crazy myth is detox is only for when you're sick. What? No, 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 no. Detox pathways are active every single day, keeping you healthy and balanced at every single moment. Again, everything is inging. This is not past tense terms. We are in a constant process of movement, inging. We are constantly cleansing. We are constantly clearing. We are constantly moving things through. This is not I did a detox in January and now I don't need to focus on detox and clearing and being healthy for my liver at all for the rest of the year. No, crazy talk. Crazy, crazy, crazy talk. I digress. So, my challenge for the clearing aspect for the detox pathways, I gave you a challenge for the cleansing. My challenge for the clearing aspect is to choose one friendly detox habit to try for a week. Now, I'd like you to incorporate this over the longer time of a week, but I don't want this to feel religious or feel like, oh my gosh, this is like something I have to do, but really just incorporate, be mindful, be thoughtful about doing these things. So drinking a glass of lemon water daily in the morning, first thing when you wake up. So having a glass of water, 8 ounces is fine with, and you can squeeze about half of a lemon in there, fresh lemon squeezed in. And that just really helps stimulate some detox flow of the liver, but also just replenishes fluids from the night, as you were sleeping and getting movement to happen throughout your body. The other thing is adding some vegetables, non-starchy vegetables into your diet, things like broccoli, things like cauliflower. Other really supporting detox vegetables you can do are beets. Beets help with circulation and liver detox, ginger, some garlic, things like that. Adding those things to your meals on a daily basis can be super helpful and being mindful of that. And the other one is to really prioritize your sleep. Prioritize getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night, getting into a bedtime routine to where you are prioritizing getting into good sleep hygiene so you can maximize that 7 to 9 hours a night and not be, yes, I was in bed 7 to 9 hours, but I didn't sleep, consistently during that time frame. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So easy enough, 5-minute lymphatic drainage in the morning, and then really prioritizing drinking some lemon water in 8 ounces and doing some cruciferous vegetables or non-starchy vegetables like beets, garlic, ginger, and sleeping will really help with cleansing and clearing your body. So that said, thank you so much for listening to another episode. Looking forward to going through some of the contracting and relaxing of your skeletal muscles, how important that is, and the connection that your nervous system is continually making all the time and the intricate work it's doing. So please like, subscribe, share, leave a review, all that fun stuff that helps spread this message far and wide. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the next episode and looking forward to this next adventure that we get to take together. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.